Hi, I'm Ellen O'Neill with Ellen O'Neill Properties at eXp Realty. Today I am fortunate to be with Bobby Green, and he is the branch manager here at Stearns Lending. Bobby is licensed throughout all of South Carolina, so he works with buyers throughout the entire Charleston and Mount Pleasant area and all of the surrounding community. So thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Just want to kind of pick your brain. So many people, when they're buying a house, need to get a loan. And you know, you've been doing this for a long time.
20 years.
Yeah, 20, that's a long time. And so you clearly have great experience that can help people actually make it to the closing table.
Correct.
So that being said, if you had to say what is the number one piece of advice you would start with any buyer that's taking a loan?
Number one thing is to get with the right lender.
Uh-huh.
I prefer someone to get with a local lender, whether it be someone like myself or some local entity. A lot of the online banks just doesn't give you the service that you need to get your loan closed within the contract price
Okay.
or contract selling date.
All right, so some of those big online corporations that you don't really even ever meet the lender face to face.
And you talk to multiple people. Sometimes you don't even talk to the same person. So sometimes you got to re-explain the story again. Whereas if you're meeting with a local lender, you can come in their office.
Yep.
You can call them after hours.
Mm-hmm.
You can meet with them at Starbucks
Yep.
and actually get the answers you need.
Okay,
Mhm.
so go local. I love that.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now, there are several important do's and don'ts when it comes to applying for a loan, and there are certain things that a lender will expect to partner with the buyer on. What are some of the important things buyers need to know their role is?
Their first thing they need to do is get pre-approved.
Okay.
Go ahead and get with a lender and find out what their credit score is, how their income is being calculated, so that you can get a firm, verified pre-approval. Not necessarily what a buyer thinks their credit score is or how much they think they make, but actually something that a lender is actually verified and can actually give you a hard number on how much they're approved for and what program they should be in.
Okay, because God knows there are a lot of different loans out there.
Absolutely.
So.
And you want all of our clients, we want them to be in the best mortgage for them.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily what we think they need. Is the buyer might be only in a home for a couple of years. They might know that they're leaving soon.
Mm-hmm.
They might want to pay off their mortgage earlier. We want to get them the right loan for them, for their needs.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that is much easier to do when you're working face to face with a local person as opposed to an online company. So I can kind of see why that was your number one rule. It's funny, like a lot of times I'll help a buyer find the perfect home, and then the next thing that becomes so crucial is they have to work very collaboratively with their lender. And you know, sometimes people will say, "Man, that was frustrating. Oh, I didn't realize."
I had to give
how
a blood
hard."
sample,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, you know, talk to me about what you think is the cause of some of that frustration people experience.
Absolutely. So we're going to go back to working with the preferred lender again, or a local respected lender that is going to ask for the documents that are needed up front. We try to get as much as we can up front so that we don't have to go through that process later on. The biggest frustration is someone sending us bank statements.
Okay.
Most times people bank online, they're going to print out an online statement.
Right.
It doesn't have their name on it. It doesn't have their account number on it. So
Okay.
even though it's coming from them, we don't know whose bank statement it is.
Oh.
So we need their name on it and their account number on it. And then we also need all the pages. Now,
Okay.
if it says 1 through 8 and number 8 says intentionally left blank,
Right.
we need that 8th page
Uh-huh.
to show that there's no more transactions that's happened.
Oh, that's true.
Because if it says no, this page left intentionally blank, the only person knows that is you until
True.
you show it to us.
Okay. All right. So that documentation piece probably could be very frustrating. Uh-huh. So with that being said, you know, what are some of the things that maybe you do with technology to try to offset some of those frustrations people are feeling?
Absolutely. So Stearns, even though I'm local in the Mount Pleasant area, we are a national company.
Yeah.
We're a top 4 lender, $350 billion company.
Wow.
We do about $30 billion in purchase transactions a year. So we're large, which enables us to have the technology to, we use something called My Workday. It's when someone is W-2'd, we're able to put their name, their social security number, their birthday, and it pulls all their employment and all their pay. So now we don't need their pay stubs anymore. We have a link that we can the borrower can give us their account number and password to their bank. That they're actually typing it in. They're not giving it to me.
Okay.
And then our system will automatically pull their last 60 days of bank statements. That eliminates the frustration because now we're pulling everything that we need electronically.
Right.
Now we have an underwriter that is not looking at pay stubs, is not looking at the bank statements. We've eliminated half the job that people get frustrated over.
Yeah, because even just a few short years ago, it was a matter of scanning various documents, uploading them, sending them to you via email.
Pages getting stuck, even though you thought you sent it to us, we're missing a page, that kind of stuff.
True. Okay, great. That sounds so much more efficient.
It is.
Yeah. So, what about your average close times? Like, what should a borrower expect timeline-wise when taking a mortgage?
So it is a dance. So we need the borrower's cooperation as long as the lender. Right now, we're getting everything clear to close within 15 days.
That's fast.
And that is due to technology. Those times that we don't need to verify a pay stub or we don't need to get those bank statements, that we're pulling those, the time of application that's weeks that we're cutting off the end time. Even though the borrower might not want to close for 30 or 45 days, we are way ahead of the game. That eliminates that person 3 days before closing. Oh my God, my loan's not approved.
Right. Well, speaking of which, nobody ever wants to be in that situation. Not the buyer, not the seller, not the borrower. Right. Nobody wants that. So what are some things that people inadvertently do? They seem like very innocent day-to-day activities, but it ends up sabotaging their ability to close the loan.
Absolutely. So the whole time during the process, we are going to be monitoring that buyer.
Right.
We're going to look at their credit history and make sure that no one's pulled their credit.
Okay.
It's called debt monitoring. And the problem with that is if someone decides to get a Lowe's card because they want to get appliances or whatever, Lowe's is going to pull their credit. Well, we're going to see that their credit was pulled. We're then going to have to get the credit updated to show what all real debts are on that report to make sure they still qualify. That pull that Lowe's just did could have also lowered their credit score, so now they don't qualify for the program that we had them in originally.
True. And I could see that would happen because if you're buying a new home, you're probably very excited to get new furniture,
That's exactly right.
get new
incentives.
appliances.
Right.
Oh yeah, especially like same as cash, no interest for a year. So basically what you're saying is wait until the closing is done and then go out and apply for those credit programs.
Correct. Wait till the loan is funded. That deal will still be there after you close.
Yep.
Also, don't buy a car, right? We don't
Sure.
want anything more debt on there because there are guidelines that we have to follow to keep someone in a certain amount of parameters. We're also going to verify their income 2 to 3 days prior to the closing to ensure they're still on their same job that they told us.
That's true.
So please don't quit your job on the day of closing.
I know. Or even transferring jobs, I suppose,
Correct.
would be a problem,
Because then now we have to re-verify the income, get with the supervisor, make sure that nothing changed their income or the way they're paid. Whether they went from a salary job to a commission job is a big negative.
That's right. Okay. So this has been really helpful. So to kind of put it all together, it seems like some of your most important concepts that any buyer should be aware of would be to work with a local trusted lender who has a proven track record.
Correct.
And can engage with you face-to-face if needed.
And I would go with the experience part of that too.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a lot of new people getting into the business, same as realtors, right? Everybody's getting in, everybody thinks they can do it, but you want to go with someone that can solve the problems that come up at it during the process.
Yeah, so go with the preferred or recommended people who have a tried and true track record.
Absolutely.
Some important considerations would be to get the credit pulled and provide your documents right up front during the pre-qualification process so that you have facts that you're operating from and not just what you think you can qualify for.
Right.
No surprises later.
And also when you're looking at those lenders, when you're trying to get pre-approved, don't just go off what rate you're being quoted. You don't know that how much fees is costing that person to get that rate.
True.
If someone is quoting you a rate that seems a lot lower than anybody else, there's a hidden fee there. They're charging you for it. Everybody should be on a level playing field, and only difference by maybe an eighth.
Okay.
So once you shop with somebody, everybody should be the same unless
They're charging like a point or half a point.
or a discount point,
Yep.
or an origination fee. Those things are not par rates. So you 100% can buy your rate down. That's always, if that's a choice you'd like to do, but make sure you're comparing apples to apples when you're comparing lenders.
And do you do that at times, look at two different rate
Absolutely.
sheets, and can you coach people as to what the differences are if there is a discrepancy?
Absolutely. So it depends on what's the goal for the buyer, right?
Yeah.
How long are they going to be in that house? When does it make sense to buy that rate down
Yep.
for them to save enough money over? Because sometimes it takes 3 to 5 years to make up for paying that point.
That's right. So that goes back to working with a knowledgeable professional.
Right.
They're going to put you in the right product based on
Give
things
you
like
options.
how long you anticipate being
Right.
there, and so on and so forth.
Correct.
Excellent. Thank you. Some do's and don'ts. We talked about don't do anything during the process where somebody's going to be pulling your credit. So hold off on any big purchases like a new car.
Don't
or-
co-sign for your friend's car.
Oh, true. Co-signing for a loan.
That will show up on your credit also.
Okay, good point.
Just thinking of things that have happened.
Yes, yes. And then now, with the way technology is helping many of us in our industries, it seems like your company is one in which technology has helped to speed up the ability to process.
And it's on the forefront. So we're a company that you can look us up. We have a track record. You know, we are closing a lot of loans. We're not a fly-by-night company. And we're investing with the tools that helps the process easier.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You have to invest in good technology, and
That's
the
right.
payoff is worth it.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
you.
you sharing your expertise with us, and I know that you're always willing to answer questions, so I would encourage anybody that would like to learn more about different loan programs to feel free to reach out to Bobby Green, and we hope that this was very helpful to you.
Thank you. Look forward to hearing from you.